So two things here. Helicopter or plane. This is probably a plane. Number one, I'm outside and there's a bunch of distractions and I'm clearly not reading off of a script right now, so you know that this video is unscripted. And number two, I'm wearing a hat, which means that I haven't showered. That's kind of a guarantee when I'm wearing a hat. Yeah, I'm way too distracted out here, despite it being a very beautiful day. And yes, if you were wondering, that is my main mode of transportation.
You know the drill. Now get the thrill.
Had it since I was probably 5 years old, and it still is doing great. All right, so to give you kind of like an overview, to show you how the sausage gets made here on Slacker Stuff, I like to put out a video once a week. Preferably Monday at noon. That's kind of the goal that I have. And I like putting out scripted videos. I don't consider myself someone that is super great at kind of talking off the cuff. Like, I have no idea where this video is gonna go. Zero idea what we're gonna do. I know what we're gonna talk about, but I don't know how it's gonna go. I like having that predictability with a script, and I play around with it when I'm delivering it and in the edit, but I also don't love jump cuts. I know that they're useful and they're effective, but I try to use jump cuts as little as possible in my scripted videos. One thing that I've learned is that even with the free time now to actually work on these videos, to get something that I'm proud of, to get something that is like, quote, finished and ready to be put out there, it sometimes takes me longer than a week to create some of these videos. Or I have freelance stuff that comes up, I have other life stuff that happens where I just can't focus on that video. This was one of those weeks where I shot a video yesterday, or I shot the like talk track for the video yesterday, but I know that I'm gonna have to work on it this weekend if I wanted to get it out on Monday. Now, that's something that I've done before. It's something that I did actually for my last video, but it's not something that I would recommend you continue to do if you're a creator. But what I've found is I want this to bring me joy. And it does bring me joy. It brings me joy whenever I put out a video. And so if I work myself to the bone every single week just to get the video out, I'm afraid that I won't kind of let my ideas fully flesh out. And it's a balance that I'm looking for. I know that I talked about this in a couple videos ago with the deadlines thing, but what I've found is that I can do videos like this one where I am not really scripted out and it's kind of like a change of pace from the usual. Might not be a fully fleshed idea. I kind of just said that. See, this is what I'm saying. A scripted video is gonna go much smoother, but I know that with this, sometimes it's a little bit more raw and off the top of the dome. So the two sort of contrasting things that I'm talking about here are creating content and growing through that content. And I think that sometimes they can, well, all the time they have an effect on each other. Because one would say that the better your content is, the more that it resonates with an audience, the more propensity it has for growth. And yeah, like I guess that makes sense, right? I'm using a lot of big words here. You want to put out the best videos possible, and you want to put out as many of those as possible, as frequently as possible. And I can see how those would affect each other and get in the way, because in order to create something meaningful and important or interesting at the very least, which is kind of the whole theme of this video, is being interesting, I think that it sometimes takes a little more time than you anticipate. So that's why, like I said, I try and mix up these videos where I go scripted, not scripted, scripted, not scripted. The broader point that I'm getting at here is, what am I building towards? You've probably seen by now my video about I quit my job. I still don't have a job. I still am doing this as well as freelance stuff to help me along. I'm living with my parents. I'm not paying any rent. I don't have a car payment. For the next month, I am still on my parents' insurance, so expenses are very low. Well, I want to build this out. The goal with all of this is I would like to reach people and talk with people and make these connections through this medium, because this is the way that I find that I can best express myself. I would love for that to turn into a business in the sense of I don't want to worry about money. It's not my dream to turn this into like a mass media thing. Maybe at some point that's what it becomes. I have no idea. But my intention with this is to turn into something that can support me, and I can connect with people and tell my stories and tell their stories. It's extremely difficult to do something like this, especially when you don't have a specific goal. Specificity, I think, is so important for growth. And I know everyone talks about, like, you have to have your niche, you have to have your little thing that you're carving out that is your own. As you probably have guessed by now, this is not a tech channel. This is not a vlog channel. This is not, I don't know. It's kind of a bunch of things. This is slacker stuff. And yes, if you haven't guessed by now, I am the slacker. So if I can leave you with one thing to kind of wrap up this yammering video, it's just be yourself and try out different things and see what you enjoy working on. I think that the biggest lesson that I've learned from YouTube is you don't know what is truly going to work. There's of course techniques that you can use to grow. Like, I know everyone talks about click-through rate and they talk about good quality videos and they talk about being consistent on a schedule, but I think there's a bigger factor of that unknown. You don't know what's going to work. You don't know when that's going to click with people. And I've definitely struggled with accepting that advice myself because I want this to be successful. I want to be in a better place than I am now, and I think I gotta remind myself sometimes that it's just gonna take time. And I'm pretty confident that at some point this is going to work out. To wrap this video up, because I know I've been yammering on and on, is just don't worry about being interesting, just create things that make you happy. I struggle all the time with trying to make something that is both making me happy and I think will do well on YouTube because of trends I've noticed or because of what has worked in the past. But you really don't know what's going to work. There's techniques you can use to try and get yourself closer to there, but there's that unknown factor of a combination of timing and the topic of the moment. And I mean, I guess it's what I'm saying is it's all timing. But you don't know what's gonna work and when it's gonna work out. So don't stress out about that, Ben. Talking to you editing this video right now. I do have fun making these videos, and nothing gives me greater joy than sharing it with people on YouTube. So if any of this sounds like something that you've gone through, please let me know, because as always, this is a discussion, people. It is not a lecture. It's not just me talking to the camera and telling you to do something. I'm learning just as much as you are when it comes to YouTube videos and being a creator on YouTube. I really love interacting with folks in the comments because I think that that's kind of the closest you can get to a one-to-one interaction with someone on this platform. So hopefully you took something away from this. I know it got kind of yammery and all over the place, but I will be back next week because this is just what I do, man. This is what I enjoy doing. Every single video doesn't have to be a hit. It doesn't have to be just banger, 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 banger as much as we really want them to be. It's always about the next one. It's always about just working on and finding that thing that you can do that generates that happy feeling. You can check out some of the other videos that are on the screen right here, and of course, subscribing is always going to help me out a lot. I will see you next time with a brand new video.